our Secretary Rotarian John Swear for Secretary's report. John?
We have a few birthdays today. We have Jamie Adams, well, it's July 25th for this week. Jamie's not here. And then we have Miss Geraldine Landry, the 28th of July. We have a member anniversary, Mr. Richard Dubois, 9 years. Sorry. That goes both ways, that name, man. It's hard to pronounce. I figure you get it wrong either way.
He's still making us buy it.
Yeah. And then there's a wedding anniversary, John Cassidy. Not here. Joseph Cassidy. Are there any guests visiting with? Yes, Don. Or
Son-in-law.
well,
I have a wife of 46 years, 2 days as of Monday to Friday.
any other guests or visiting Rotarians? Okay, so as I'm going to try to do every week is to help y'all learn something that y'all may not know. And I'm all about food again. So today is National Hot Dog Day and National Hammock Day. It's too hot for a hammock, so just go on and get you a hot dog or something. So I think that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Yeah, so I had the privilege, we walked in and sat down next to Tom and his wife on Monday and had the privilege of celebrating his anniversary with them from a distance. So that was nice. It was good. My wife said we drove up to the house and of course we have one of our kids who moved back in. They leave, but they always come back. That's what people tell me. That's the truth. But so he's like, oh, nobody's here. Let's go on a date. So we're not going to worry about cooking. And we went and I was able to share. I'm glad your anniversary. So awesome. 46 years, you said, right?
It's on the 20th?
Awesome. All right, so a little bit about Rotary as we're going to continue to start every meeting. So as we learn, and some of this information is very interesting, some of it we may know. But today we're going to talk, last week we talked about the official Rotary flag. This week we're going to talk about the Rotary's wheel emblem. As we can all see it there on the banner and on this one here as well. The wheel has been the symbol of Rotary since our earliest days. It's always been a wheel. The first design was made by Chicago Rotarian Montague Vare. He was an engraver who drew a simple wagon wheel with a few lines of dust to show it that it had motion. So that was the very first Rotary wheel. Just a wagon wheel with a few little lines. The wheel was set to illustrate civilization and movement at that time. Most of the early clubs had some form of wagon wheel on their publications and their letterheads. It was all different kind of inconsistent wheel formations going around. Can you imagine? But finally in 1922, it was decided that all Rotary clubs should adopt a single design as the exclusive emblem of Rotarians. So 1922, this has been around. Thus in 1923, the present gear wheel, which we have today, has 24 cogs and 6 spokes, was adopted by the Rotary International Association. A group of engineers then looked at it and advised that the geared wheel was mechanically unsound. Excuse me, and would not work without a keyway, quote unquote. So in the center of the wheel was mechanically, in the center of the wheel of the gear to attach it to the power shaft. So in 1923, the keyway was added to the wheel, and the design which we now know was formally adopted by the official Rotary International emblem and has been ever around since 1923. Pretty amazing. Okay. A couple of reminders and things that took place. On July 15th, last week, we officially began our Rotary Club, Rotary, that's a lot of words to say. Rotary Satellite Club of Vermilion After Hours Club, I guess. But anyway, we call it Vermilion After Hours, or whatever we want to call it. So we had that first meeting at Brasser's Hardware in Maurice, and this is a, Martin, this is an extension of our Rotary Club that we went ahead and created another group of individuals, potentially the younger crowd, to form an after-hours club. So, and it's called Vermilion because what they will do is they will meet once a month at Brasser's, the second Wednesday of every month at 6:30 p.m. And in the last Wednesday of the month, they are going to rotate like Rotary does, and they're going to go from city to city across our parish and meet there. So it'll be pretty neat. So I was very excited to have that first meeting. We had, Annette was there. Who else from here joined us that are here today? So I know Annette and Rob and Danny and Jim. And then we also had four. Madeline was there. We also had 4 potential Rotarians at the meeting, which is great. At the meeting, we inducted the chairperson as Jared Brasser. He is the satellite chair. He will also be serving on our board of Rotary of Abbeville. So he will be considered a board member. We also inducted their secretary/treasurer, which is Mr. Jonathan Lovett. These 2 people, as you know, have been Rotarians with our club, but they are assisting us in formulating and continuing to excel that extension of our club. We're very excited about that. There's a lot of interest in that. And like I said, the younger community wanting to do that. They can't get away to make that noon meeting from their jobs, but they can do so after hours. The day immediately following that was July 16th, and I was very excited about that day. There was a Vermilion Parish School Board meeting. We didn't stay 5 hours. Luckily, we didn't have to wait 5 hours to be seen. We went into a room, and I was ecstatic about the amount of Rotarians that we had there to support our club. I cannot express how grateful and humbled I am. Lloyd was there down the line. Suzanne, thank you. Annette, Rob, Jason was there. Bernard, thank you. Anybody I'm missing that are here today? So we walked in, we were waiting in the room, and it's like we were all masked, and okay, we got temperature checked, and we want to follow all guidelines. And then we walked into the board room, and they were separated with chairs all around the room, because they had to social distance as well. We walked in, and everybody was looking around, and we were standing up in there, and they're like, we exceeding capacity. I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted to do as a Rotary Club, not for COVID issues, but to say that we were here and representing and showing our continued interest and support for the French Immersion Program. So we were there, we were invited there to receive an award, 2 awards. We received an award for the donation of funds that we did to the French Immersion Program to begin at LeBlanc Elementary. And we also received the award for the year prior to that, in which we donated funds and assisted in getting the security systems for the school. So Rob Greer accepted the award for the French Immersion, Rob Roy for the alarm, and then Bernard Douillon also received an award. Congratulations, Bernard, for your donation to the French Immersion Program.
It wasn't my money.
It wasn't your money?
No, it wasn't. It belonged to an organization.
So that's okay. You just go with
Not
it.
my money.
So then immediately following that, we actually, I don't know if any of you watched it, but we actually surprised the Rotary, the school board with another donation for nearly $10,000, a $10,000 check. So we gave that to them that night for continue the French immersion program there in LeBlanc. So that is something that we're very passionate about and will continue to do. Just to give you a heads up on that. Also, we're going to continue to work with Tom on going for a global grant to make sure we can get this in our community on a long-term basis and continue to have funds to be able to support that. So excited about that. All right. At this time, well, let me go ahead with this notification. So next week, we will have a meeting here, and it will be the second meeting of the After Hours Club, as I mentioned to you earlier. They decided that that meeting is going to be outdoors at Riverfront location next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. So they will meet. We have another Rotarian which will be inducted at that time frame if all goes well. So if we can be there to support. We will have our meeting here on noon because very pleased with the turnout that we're having and the support. So we're going to continue doing that, and we'll also have our meeting there as of this time. Committee leadership. We did have an email go out for our committee chairpersons, our youth services, community services, projects, as well as vocational services. The email come out from Pam. We kind of do structured things from an organizational chart perspective to keep us all in the loop. We have many members assisting us doing different projects throughout the year, but we will definitely make sure we communicate that and get everybody touched through our committee chairs on an ongoing basis. And we're going to continue doing that on a consistent basis. So that way we can make sure as a board that things are still moving forward. So as committee chairs, you will be asked to come up and give updates on where we are, depending on which particular project is coming up. Like some of the projects that we had across our community that we do each year. I was just talking with Mayor Piazza just a few minutes ago. We have a lot of things listed that we really did throughout the year routinely, right? Like Scare in the Square. We partnered with veterans and we gave books for literacy instead of candy. And the Christmas stroll, and different things that happened in our community. Those things might not happen. We need to come to the realization that those routine, regular things that we're accustomed to will probably not look like what it did last year. So Jerome and I actually had a conversation this morning, and thank you, Jerome, because he's our community chair, services chair. Start thinking out the box. So just because it will not happen does not mean we cannot contribute and that we cannot do something differently to impact the community in some kind of positive way. Whether it be the children or whether it be the elderly or whether it will be our youth, or etc. So that is the mindset of the board and the committee as we're going to continue to move forward in our community, whatever we need to do. We really had a very busy July, to be honest, from day one, donating prom dresses to painting at Eaton Park with the sensory project with the Boy Scouts to the Bermuda Parish School Board presentation, and just coming very, very busy. And we're getting ready to induct our second member of our Rotary Club today. So that's pretty awesome that this is happening. We're continuing to contribute, and we're doing so during a pandemic. So I can't thank you guys enough for that. Next Monday, on July 27th, there's some flyers up here, but there's no registration link on it that I just noticed that Pam has sent out. there is a Webex training that will occur Monday at 6 p.m. It's a Zoom meeting, takes about 20-30 minutes. You're welcome to attend. It's not mandatory, but they're going to talk about membership success in Rotary and do a little presentation there. So I did send out the email with the link to register for that. You want to be able to register so you don't have any problems if you go and click on the Zoom meeting. You want to be able to be welcome in there as quickly as possible. Okay, so at this time, I would like to call up Bernard Douillon. If you can be here at this table, in front of this table. Jason, you can be here, right here on this, in front of this table, and I'll come around that way.
You got it, sir. I didn't know if we could do this without hands.
So Glenn and I chatted. So I said, Glenn, we have an induction. He said, oh, I won't be there. He said, but Don has done them in the past.
Okay.
So I said, well, I'm not sure Don will be there. I said, but you know what? With your approval, would I be able to do that? He said, absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with that today.
How many here have been inducted by Glenn?
On me.
I just wondered if it was official if Glenn didn't do it.
Well, we got his stamp of approval. So, Jason, welcome. Here in Abbeville, this club was started back on November 18th, 1936. We are getting ready to celebrate our 84th birthday this year. You have many past presidents here in the audience that are here for every one of us, and if we need, we ask. We are here to induct you today as a new Rotarian of our Rotary Club of Abbeville. And what is Rotary? As you hear us mention, you've been to a couple of meetings thus far. It's, to our opinion, one of the most prestigious community service clubs we have in our area. Not just in our area, but around the world. We have around 1.2 million Rotarians across this world in hundreds of countries, working on servicing one thing, and that is others. As our motto is with Rotary, is service above self. Always in keeping others in mind. And I have to tell you, since I've met you, I've seen you walk through the door 2 weeks ago, and went and met you, and just the very short conversations we had thus far, I firmly believe you will do an outstanding job and represent our Rotary Club of Abbeville as we continue to partner with the community and provide the services. Now you have a direct mentor here with Mr. Bernard Douillon. He's been around a little while. Hello.
I don't know. I can't remember it so long.
He's definitely been around a while. Definitely contributed and provided services to the community many times ago in his service with our Rotary Club. He's trying to count. He's trying to count.
I'm trying to see who in here has been so long these days.
But he is definitely one that you will be able to lean on and get support from as you continue to grow. I'm going to challenge you with this, and we always are wanting to service others, and that's what we do as Rotarians. But as we are doing that together throughout this year, I want you to always ask yourself, what are you getting out of Rotary? First, you need to want to know, what do you want from Rotary? And as you are providing the services and you will see to others, you will see in return tenfold what will come back to you. We are here for you as a board, and certainly as a club. We are all one, regardless of what position we're doing it together. So I'm going to present you with this certificate of membership, effective today, Jason, and then we will, you want to pin it? Okay. We will pin you. I see you have Rotary Opens Opportunities. We will pin you with the official Rotary pin as well. It should just slide on in your screen. No, that's just stay on. Yeah, go ahead.
Go.
Push it on and give it one to us.
There you go.
Thank you very much. All right, Jason. I have some other items for you. Let's see, Jason. Other items for you here. This is your folder, as you hear us say. And Jason has been involved. I spoke with him for a bit. He's been involved in Rotary from a distance, so to speak. He comes from New Jersey, with family here, related to Campbell family, right? Campbell family here in Abbeville. And he's been involved in Rotary doing different projects through school and fraternities and etc. So he knew about Rotary and knows what how Rotary can impact the communities. And I'm very proud for you that you now become one of those Rotarians that you supported and what they were doing on their project. So congratulations to you. Here you will see our four-way test, which is what we will recite before each and every meeting. As we are going through our ideas and our projects and things that we do and partner with other organizations, we always look back at the four-way test. We always must make sure that each one of those are supported in whatever we do. So is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships among us and the community? And it will be beneficial to all of those who are concerned. You also have a sticker and a red banner. When you're going to get your name badge, which ordered them from Don, this will be attached to your name badge. You will be considered a red badge Rotarian, which means you're a newbie. So you will be able to remove this from your badge as soon as you give what is called a classification talk. Classification talk is where you come up here and you present who you are, who's your mom, who's your dad, where you're from, what you've been through, and kind of what you want to get out of Rotary. What brought your interest into Rotary? So we will ask you to do that one day at the drop of a hat. Yeah.
Before the meeting starts, we're going to say, tell us about yourself.
I'm just kidding. So, actually, we have a fantastic program chair, Mr. Paul Bourgeois, and Ms. Terry Landry, and they are getting programs for our club and continue through that. But things do fall through, and if we do have other gaps, we will have socials. We have opportunities to do those classification talks as well. But if we have a need where something would fall through, we have a few people that need to do a classification talk. So you're in line. Okay, so you get a little bit. But thank you again, and congratulations to you. All right, now I'll go ahead and call up Paul to introduce our guest speaker.
I'm sure everybody knows who our next speaker is. I have a real long list to be able to talk about him, but you know what? I think we're just going to cut to the chase. I'd like a warm welcome for our mayor, Marquette.
Thank you, Paulo. Appreciate that, man. It's always great to be here to address the Rotary Club. Congratulations, Mr. Jason. It's a great organization. Those 84 years, I know for a fact that my father spent 50 of those 84 years right here with this organization, with many of you that remember him way back in the club. And I really like the idea of this after hours. I'm an after hours kind of guy. So the after hours organization sounds pretty good, really. wanted to comment real quick that you're kind of seeing a first right here today. First of all, this is my first speech of the year, and my first outing and social gathering. I've been staying home and staying in my office and kind of staying close to my family because of this crisis. That's not the city doing that. And the other first is this beard that you're looking at right here. This is the first beard as mayor, first beard I've had in 25 years. And I think the joke's kind of on me because way back in February I said, man, I'm going to grow a beard because of the COVID crisis, and when it's over, I'm going to shave it off. Well, here it is. And look, it's hot, it itches, I can't stand it, but I still got it. And I'm like, well, Lord, when am I going to get to shave this thing off? But anyway, I want to share a few things with you. And usually I'm over here with a lot of good news and all these wonderful things that the city's doing. And the news is not all that great right now, but we're going to talk about it anyway. I'm not going to spend a lot of time up here talking about COVID-19. You hear about it every day. You're bombarded with it on TV over and over and over. I will tell you this, though. There is a regional group, just to tell you a little bit about my involvement. There's a regional group that is on a conference call twice a week, every Monday and every Thursday at 11 o'clock. About 20 mayors in Acadiana, several of the parish presidents, our president, our parish administrator, Keith Roy, Becky with OEP, Mike over in Kaplan, the mayor, Paul's on some of them, Wayne, Terrio, and Maurice, several of the mayors in Acadiana, mayors in Youngsville, Broussard, Opelousas, all of them, along with Tina Stefanski, the head of Region 4 DHH, the governor's office, Bill Cassidy's office, Senator Kennedy's office, Congressman Clay Higgins' office. We're all on this conference call twice a week talking about this crisis and what we're doing about it. So we are very, very up to date and involved and keeping up to date with Dr. Stefanski, who is super knowledgeable about the best there is out there on what's going on with this crisis. But, it's a new disease, and there's just so much that they know about it. So we kind of taking it one day at a time, and it changes from week to week. I will tell you this, as of yesterday, 875 cases right here in Vermilion Parish, 12 deaths. 275 critical care in Region 4 hospitals. That's the highest it's ever been. 48 people on vents, that doubled since last week. Those are not great numbers. That's not something that we want to be dealing with right now. Those numbers need to be going in the opposite direction. So what have we been doing here locally? I can tell you since day one, since the first phase 1 was initiated and businesses were closed, we've been reaching out to businesses. And I will say real quick that we are really, really fortunate to have some local banks that have been able to handle those payroll protection loans that have been administered out there because a lot of businesses are surviving on them and depending on them. We reached out to many businesses. I personally communicate with a lot of our big box stores, Walmart, Lowe's, Super One, Robbie's, all these guys on a weekly basis, just kind of going over the governor's mandates and what's expected of them, because of course that changes from week to week. And we'll have Charlene Beckett, our Main Street manager, reaching out to our downtown businesses. And my personal secretary sat on the phone when a lot of businesses were closed and they were trying to reopen, got on the phone, called each and every one of them. Hey, what do you need to reopen? How can we help you? We're dealing with the Chamber of Commerce. We're dealing with the Economic Development Alliance. Our city council is involved. We had Ann Fagu at a city council meeting to try and educate us on what's available out there, what grants are available, what loans are available, to try and help businesses reopen. That's our priority. It's a crisis, and a lot of businesses are not going to make it, and a lot of businesses already have closed. Brubacher's right next door to City Hall. They're not coming back. A restaurant just can't make it. So, that's not. We only have 2 electrical linemen. we're down to 2. We used to have 4, now we're down to 2. Either one of those guys gets sick, and we in a tremendous bind. I mean, we can't, those 2 guys get sent home with COVID, we can't put the lights back on. So we have been real strict about, social distancing. We used to ride around with 4 people in a car. We don't do that anymore. We have to go out, we bought new vehicles. Not new, we bought used vehicles, but we bought more vehicles. So now we're down to 2 people in a car or 1 person in a car. And that's across the board in every department. We have 5 cases at the fire department. Now, how do you, that's a real challenge. Those guys eat and sleep together 24/7. They're out there 24 hours in a row in the same room, and those rooms are not that big. So when you can't send the whole fire department home, what do? It's been a real challenge on just shifting these guys around, maneuvering them around. We have them down to 2 people per station. That's it. We limited them. We sent some of them home, got some back. APD has been very fortunate. Only had 1 case there so far, knock on wood. But in our utility crews, we sent them home, brought them back. We sent them home, we brought them back. We're constantly juggling these people around. 1 guy in a crew gets sick or tests positive, we got to send the whole crew home. And we're talking about guys that are fixing water leaks, putting your lights back on, unclogging your sewer, running your sewer plant, running your water plant. It's a real challenge to juggling these employees around every time somebody, feels bad, tests positive. It's hysteria over there at City Hall. So anyway, we've got City Hall closed back again. We are doing business through the drive-through, and all our permits are done by appointment only. So anyway, let's move on. I will say that another guy on the conference call is Dr. Sadwal with UL, and he just announced Monday that they have a plan to open UL. They're going to actually move up the start date of the semester and start around mid-August. And I thought it was pretty ingenious the way they decided to do it, really. And they're going until Thanksgiving, and that's when the semester is going to end. They're doing a fast-track semester, mid-August to Thanksgiving, and they send them home. They don't want them going home to Thanksgiving, going out having parties, going to meet family, going out of town, and then coming back and bringing the virus back to campus. So they have school, they have class. Anybody who's sick can watch it from home on the internet. So I think they got a good plan at UL, and Dr. Sadwal is doing a fantastic job over there. Doesn't speak very well for what they're going to do with the football season over at UL and, of course, LSU. So that's kind of a wait and see. But I don't know. I'm trying to sell for North my season tickets for LSU, but it didn't bite. Again, real quick, I'm going to talk about something else that I never talk about because of a couple of reasons. And I'll go through it real quick, but in this town, in this charter, 170-year-old charter, it says that our chief of police is elected. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about crime, something I very seldom touch on, because we have an elected chief of police in Abbeville. But we've had a lot of shootings and just shots fired in Abbeville over several months now, going back a couple of years, that we got a little war going on out there. But again, I'm not pointing the finger at anybody or trying to pass the buck, but in this town, out of half the cities in Louisiana, half of them have an appointed chief, half of them have an elected chief out of the 300. We have an elected chief. And our charter says he is in total control of his department, his employees, and his budget. The council is not the chief of police's boss. The mayor is not the chief of police's boss. I get that question every week. What are we doing to help him? I'll tell you what we're doing to help him. The police department's got all brand new uniforms. They've got new vests that the sheriff gave them for bulletproof vests, body armor. They've got brand new body cams. They've got 5 new vehicles, 6. They've got a 15-year-old police station with all brand new equipment in it. They've got the largest budget they've ever had, and they all got raises at the beginning of the year. So what's the problem? Well, I'll tell you, the problem starts at APD, but it doesn't finish there. Some of the attorneys in the room are going to shake their head when I go through this, because, again, the judicial system is broke. It just got some real big issues with the fact that we are arresting the same people over and over and over. I called Drew David about, this goes back what, 4 or 5 years, because they had a guy in the newspaper, it was like fourth month in a row, I saw the same name as guy got arrested for drugs, selling crystal meth and marijuana. I said, Drew, y'all running the same arrest report. There's no way you arrested this guy 3 times in 4 months. Y'all make it all look good, and then y'all run the same arrest report over. He said, I'm telling you, we've arrested this guy for the same thing 3 times in 4 months. Why is he not in jail? He's not in jail because they bond out. That's a whole other story of bonding out. And right now we have a critical position as judge, an election coming up here that's very important, that you need to take very seriously. We had one of our candidates at the city council meeting last night, and we asked him that question. First thing, why are the bonds so low? He said, well, everybody complains to me that they're so high. He said, the bonds are not there to keep a person in jail. The bonds are only there to guarantee that he's going to go to trial. So people think that bonds are there, set there to keep people in jail. He said, no, that's not the case at all. He said, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. So this guy that's arrested 3 times in 4 months, by the time he gets to trial, which takes several months, he's still a first offense. Doesn't matter how many times he's been arrested for the same thing. He can be arrested, I didn't believe it either. He can be arrested 3 times in 4 months. Well, he hadn't been convicted of the first one yet. So it's still a first offense, okay? And the district attorney's office, all right, they are doing everything they can to try and build cases on these guys. And that takes months and months and months to do that sometimes. They have to gather enough evidence to bring this guy to trial, and it's not easy. And look, the bad guys, they got defense attorneys, okay, that are working, and they're not too eager to get to trial either, because they don't want that guy going to jail. That's what they get paid for. So this thing just mushrooms over and over. In the meantime, what's happening? Well, if a guy can't bond out, which most of the drug dealers and guys with the guns out there, they can bond out. The guy who beat his girlfriend up, he's probably going to sit in there for a while. So we got all these what's called pre-trial detainees sitting in the parish jail, overflowing, police juries having to pay tons of money to incarcerate these people elsewhere because our jail's full, been full, and they haven't even been to trial yet. It's a huge bottleneck, and look, I'm not pointing the finger at Ed and Lori. They're doing a fantastic job. Lori has done a great job, formed a task force to try and fast track some of these cases. But we're dealing with 15 judges, not 2 judges. All the other judges are from Lafayette and Acadia. It's not just the 2 judges that are in Abbeville that we elect that try every case. We having to deal with judges from Lafayette and Acadia that we don't know they get sent over here because the judges rotate around. So there's 15 judges. So, and the caseload is astronomical. So the whole time that we sitting here arresting these guys, arrest them, they out. Arrest them, they out. Arrest them, they out. We're arresting the same people over and over and over. So it's a real crisis. And I don't know what the answer is, but I can tell you, there's several attorneys here in the audience, I think that's a problem that we need to fix. So anyway, let me just go through a couple of things real quick. We do have some good things. Airport terminal, brand new, right here. We spent $1 million at the airport this past year, a new terminal, fixed up the old hangar. It's in great shape. We're a beautiful airport terminal. It's already paid off. We already have an oil company that has relocated from Intracoastal to the airport, Fieldwood Exploration, brought in another 150 cars a week to the Abbeville airport, brought in some new helicopters from PHI. So our airport is booming right now. Even though oil and gas is down, Fieldwood was a big addition to the airport and a new company that we brought into Abbeville. So that's great news. We've got a new, we don't have a new website, but we've updated our website. We do have a Facebook page where we try and put a lot of things on there to keep the public, educated as to what's going on and what the city's doing and those types of things. Sales tax is up, believe it or not. I know that's a hard figure to understand, but actually in the last 3 months, sales tax is up 6%. For the year, it's up 2%. Why? I'll tell you what my personal feelings is of sales tax. I think that people are focused on buying locally. People are not, they're scared to run to Lafayette to begin with because nobody wants to go out to eat. So, they stay at home, they're staying local, they're shopping local, they're doing things in Abbeville and not rushing off to Lafayette to go spend their money. So I think that has a lot to do with the increase of the sales tax here in Abbeville, and that's a wonderful thing. Now, I'll hand that out real quick for those of y'all, just to show you a little bit about our electrical revenues, which is way down. That's the bad news. You just hand it.
We write it at 1 o'clock, 11
Okay.
to 1 o'clock. So
I'm
if
gonna-
anybody needs to go, feel free, but okay, we can do a free
Go ahead, Rob. Okay, I only got 1 or 2 more things to talk about. Anyway, you'll see the electrical revenues are down. One of those things is because of Riviana. We lost Riviana. They've been dying a slow death. They're gone. And probably won't get them back. There's 2 buyers. They're both from Mexico that they're looking at. There was a buyer from Raleigh. I personally spoke to the guy to try and get him to buy Riviana. He told me that they have not spent a nickel on the rice mill in 25 years. It's obsolete. It's going to take hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, to get it back to where it needs to be because they haven't spent any money on the mill in 25 years. That's exactly what the guy from Raleigh told me. Just telling you what he said. So that's not looking good for the rice mill. Parks and Rec, splash pad, we're still in the construction. Thank you, Rotary Club, for what you do to the community and for participating in that splash pad. The kids are going to love it. One of these days, this crisis is going to be over, and we're going to get those kids in that splash pad. Last thing I want to leave you with is this thought. We fought the dredging in Lafayette Parish. We were able to fight it, and we were able to get the Corps to stop it. And there were some people here in Vermillion that did a fantastic job in doing so, but Lafayette's not going to give up. And we're approaching hurricane season. I want you to think about that. Right now, okay, but what about next month if we get a Cat 3 hurricane sitting right here in Vermillion Parish? What exactly are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Where are we going to evacuate to? Where are we going to evacuate our nursing homes and hospital patients to? Who's going to take us? Are we going to be able to evacuate to Texas or Mississippi or Arkansas? Are they going to let us over there?
You want to go?
Hey, let me tell you, that is something that nobody's thinking about right now, but believe me, if we get a huge Cat 3 hurricane coming at us, we're in a real bind about evacuation. We can't do a shelter. I don't know what the answer to that is, but we're going to get together with our OEP director real soon and start talking about this before it blindsides us and we get hit with it and we're not prepared. Thank y'all so much for having me. I appreciate it. And y'all have a good day.